We are on our way to Ohio. Obviously, a gigantic night for us. We've had our day. We've been off to a great start. Today. You know, I wanted to do this video. I wanted to wait to see. Patrick DePron and Tenacious race. I knew it was going to be an uphill climb for them both, but I still wanted to watch the races. Patrick DePron, tiny bit flat maybe. Shawnee did a great job. Got away in last. Ended up in a great spot. Second over in the last turn. Gapped his cover a bit, and then didn't have a ton of pop on the end of it. Lately when he's good, he's probably second or third in that spot. And when he's not as good, he's fifth or sixth. And he wasn't as good today, but he's been pretty good of late. So Patrick DePron is sixth, probably still paced 51 and 2, 51 and 3. I thought the horse raced okay. And then Tenacious Hanover today. I told Jeremy, I said, just try not to move him in the third quarter. What he must have heard was try to move him as much as you can in the third quarter. He was out third over, but that's Tenacious. You got to know him. He'll feel good. He just doesn't push forward in the third quarter as well. And honestly, I can't tell you why, but that's him in a nutshell. It's the way he's always been, and I suspect it's probably, at least for a while, going to be the way he is always going to be. Mechanically, I thought he looked sound. I thought he looked good in that respect. They went 51 last quarter, 27. They're not supposed to do that in that class. That is an anomaly, to say the least. He probably still paced 54 and did a little more work than he probably needed to, but that's the way it is. That's racing. Ended up seventh, but again, that's Keith Brown, the owner of that horse that won the race. Dr. Brown is who's our surgeon, our vet in the area. He does a great job. Good friends with Dr. Latessa, and he owns that horse. If I'm not mistaken, that's a filly I drove in Northfield a couple of times last year. I think I'm right. Either way, a little outmatched, a little outgunned. Definitely, especially when she had the rail at 1-5 and we had the 9-hole off 4 weeks. So we'll see. He'll come back next week. The good thing about Tenacious is, again, I'd rather not see the name Rich and Fearless in that class, but I think he'll bounce right back when they come back to him a little bit. 53, 54 will be more his speed. Certainly not 51 apiece. Now, let's get back to the good stuff that happened. Now, I told you what my day was going to start like. Amy and I and the kids, we get up. We started our day just a hair later than we thought we would. Dropped Ollie off. Went over to the Meadows. I got there at just before 10, I think. Went out on the track. Trained Solidarity. A lot of people are going to be, their ears are going to prick up when they hear Solidarity. So the backstory behind this, maybe for those of you that weren't following it, is Solidarity's trained down good. He qualified great, 58 last quarter, 26 and 4 at Mohawk. James said at no point did he feel he was going to run, but then we went to qualify him 2 weeks later. James went up on the gate with him, tried to drag him back, and he made a break. I can tell you what, he's got a strong old mouth on him too. He's going to get the chain, not the wire snake cord. Made a break coming off the car, and James said, the horse shouldn't have run, whatever, we'll put him in to go. We put him in to go. They go to train him up on the Tuesday before the race, or the Wednesday, and he was really hot training for Dominic, and Dominic was fighting with him. Lo and behold, he shut his air off. Now, they scoped him, and they said he had bled. Now, usually when you see a horse get making noise and shut their air off, that's enough for a horse to bleed. And in fairness, James did say he showed no signs of bleeding before that, but we had never scoped him. So I said, well, here's the thing. He was always going to go to Kentucky. So if he can't go to Kentucky because he's bleeding, he's got to get to Pennsylvania. So we're going to take him to Pennsylvania. I'm going to train him. After he gets here. I'm going to go a good mile with him, and then we're going to see what's what when we scope him. If there's any blood in that airway, or in that trach, we are going to we were going to put him on Lasix and race him here next week. If he didn't bleed, then we're going to stay the course exactly what we were thinking of. He's probably going to show up in Kentucky. No problem. Roll in there today, go out the track, 29 and 4, 59 and 3. I ended up going a mile 55 and 4 with him by himself. all by himself. Now, was he sparky on the end of it? No, but he's never seen that kind of speed before. Remember, the only fast mile he's gone other than training and schooling here and there was 58 and 4 last quarter, 26 and 4. I went 4 seconds faster with him, 3 seconds faster with him today. And even that was 2 weeks ago. Nice that she wasn't tired. Addie wanted to play her tablet, and she was kicking and screaming that she was not tired and did not need to have a nap and was fine for the rest of the night. And I said, honey, we're an hour and a little bit from Scioto. Why don't you just turn your tablet off and rest your eyes? No, I'm not tired. 3 minutes later, out cold. She needs to have a nap. It's going to be a hot one tonight in Scioto also. So I'm on my way there. It says I'm going to get there at 6:29, which would be about half an hour before the race. I'm making okay time. I don't know who's in that towel. Oh, there they are there. There they are there. I thought they were way further ahead. When we left the racetrack, we were trying to figure out who was in the Tahoe. There was somebody in like a gunmetal gray colored Tahoe parked right at the gate. So somebody was going to make a dash to the car, to the Tahoe, and then off to the races. And we were just getting on the highway and going down the highway, and this Tahoe went screaming past us. There they are right there. I'm not sure who it is, but it's somebody. I'm certain that's the same Tahoe that was parked in the Meadows. It has to be. It's quite a coincidence. So 55 and 4. I wish I could tell you the last half. I don't know what it was. I was trying to watch. I had my head down, kind of. I was paying attention to him, his gait, how he felt, but watching to see if there was anything I could see. Did he touch a knee? Did he come close to crossfiring? He never really got any gear. The horse really was good. So a couple of change. What's that? Honey, it's July the 5th. Nobody's in this work zone. I know it's a work zone, but there's no one here. There's not a human present. So, few changes. Off comes the cord, on goes the chain. That's number one for solidarity. Earplugs, fine. Head pole left, line pole right. Take that. He didn't like the head pole. He kept laying up on it the whole mile. So head pole left, line pole right. Other than that, I thought he was good. So now that I say that out loud, what we might do is race him here next week in the Meadows and re-scope him again just to see how he looks. Probably the best move to make, right? And then that's what we'll do, and then he'll be off to Kentucky. That's my plan anyway with Solidarity. I don't think I could ask for a better outcome today than what I did in regards to Solidarity. Now we get to the track. How would Sweet Lake be? How would My Name Swaney be? How would Millie Girl be? How would Leland be? I thought they all had chances, but none of them I could really say this one will win. They all had a chance to win, but could any of them actually get the job done? Well, it didn't take long to fix that. Put Sweet Lake on the front, and quite frankly, Amy had said it after, and she's right, never has really trained the best on the front end. Ran down a little bit right hind too, which, always kind of runs in late. I don't know why she does that, but obviously she's run down a little bit. So we'll put a set of heel corks on her shoes behind, I suspect. Put some bet wrap on her hind legs, run down patches, and I think that right line late in the mile will go away. If you noticed, I actually was kind of tight to Mike Wilder the whole way down the lane with Sweet Lake today. And in fact, if he had to put an objection in, I might have got tossed with her. I don't think I pinched him off to the point where it cost him an inch, but I was in kind of tight where I shouldn't have been. And I think I didn't see the head on, so maybe it was tight but okay. I don't know. I don't think I cost him an inch, but at the same time, if he had been closing in on me, I think I might have been tossed. So Sweet Lake raced really good. I think it's worth noting, if we're going to play this glass half full, glass half empty game, I'm curious to see who this is now. See if you can see them in the mirror. We've now caught up to you, Tahoe. I am certain that is the car that was sitting in the
car right there. So stay in the lane.
We're going to stay right here. We're going to catch up to him. No, we're not. Yes, we are. He's just getting away from us. They're probably going to get up beside him, but I've never seen the person in my life. I have no idea who it is. So Sweet Lake, as I said, if I was going to be completely honest, it was the slowest mile of the day, but it was the first race of the day. She got over that 58.2 went a mile in 56. Now, went out the track with Wayne, and they said that her shoe was a little bit loose, and she was a little funny left hind. Oh, no, I can't let you in. I'm sorry about that. They took off again. Literally 2 feet from seeing who it was. They said that Wayne, had a loose shoe, and she was a little off left hind. Blacksmith came in, tightened the shoe up. I went out and post-sprayed her. Maybe a hair of a wrinkle left hind, but in the mile she was straight as a string, and I saw zero signs of any sort of lameness. Went out of there. Actually, did she pace faster than any of the other filly? I think she did, right? Yeah, 55 flat, her and Leland. So Wayne was good. They kind of sprinted off on her down the lane. If I had been out in the covered flow, I think she probably gives him a rattle on the end of it. She was very, very strong. So a very interesting mile and a very good mile from My Name is Wayne today. I went out with Leland. I knew Leland was good. I've been pumping this horse's tires forever. Now you might say, well, I think, well, he was third. Those are 2 3-year-olds that beat him, first off. Secondly, if I had just slid out onto Dave's back in front of the Myers kid, I win the race. But my whole goal wasn't just to win, but was to want Leland to win. So you guys saw the near miss in the coming out of the first turn. A deer ran right in front, and I mean right in front. And this was avoidable. I should have spoke up. What had happened was there was a mother deer and two what do you call them? Fawns? 2 fawns run across the track. It happens often in the post parade. And they were to jump over the fence. Well, the 2 little babies couldn't get over the fence. And now they're starting to get scared because there's horses everywhere. And they run back into the infield of the meadows. Well, I looked right at Sean Johnson. I said, you know what's going to happen, right? And he goes, we probably should just wait. Because you know the mother's going to come back, or the babies are going to try and go across the track again. So we start the race, and sure enough, sure as we knew it, coming past the 3/8, here comes this mother deer, zoom, right across the track, right in front of the leader, and didn't miss him by a whole lot, quite frankly. I'll tell you what, she was going so fast she could have been able to jump right across that gorge. Like, you know, deer can move fast. I've never seen a deer in real life like run wide open.
It was going as fast as you guys.
Absolutely it was. This thing came screaming past everybody and into the infield. So coming out of the last turn, Dave Pallone's horse, he's picking at it, roaring at it, it's clear into the front. The Myers kid's second over, he looks pretty fresh. And I just kind of bumped Leland right up in behind the guy that was kind of walking. I wanted him to want to beat that horse. So I kind of bumped up into him in the last turn. Coming out of the turn, I moved him over, I kicked the earplugs, and he chased them right through the wire and went by them past the wire. That's what I want to see from Leland. The one dig on Leland forever was he was a bit of a hanger, right? He wouldn't finish off his work. He would hang a bit. You couldn't strike him with the whip. If you did, he'd sour up and kind of swell up and not go anywhere. He was maturing, but he was not going to let you make him do anything. So it's almost like that, you know, the old adage, it has to be his idea, right? To race. It has to be his idea to pass. It has to be his idea to run the horses down. He raced very, very good today for a colt that I told you was not quite ready. 55 last quarter, 28 seconds, and he looked very, very ready. I want to keep him moving now. Another maiden for him next week. That's next week would be, I think they have the Courier. They might have the Arden or something. There's something weird next week. Maybe the All-Stars. I don't think it's the All-Stars. I don't know what it is, quite frankly. There's something on the 19th. I'm not too worried about that. As you saw today, what's that?
19th isn't next week.
19th in 2 weeks, sorry, yeah. But there's something that is coming up for those horses. As you saw, you know, the Sire Stake fillies, the one division just outwent 51-1. I'm not shipping Leland Hanover anywhere to get his head beat in. He's staying right at the Meadows for right now. They will come to us. We will race him in the first stallion, the second stallion. You might see, I think he's good enough to see Sire State Company later on, but keep in mind, we have Leland Hanover paid into everything later on. Number one goal for that colt is to keep him sharp and keep him hungry. And that's what I want to do with Leland Hanover. He was exceptionally good today, and I was very, very pleased with him. Millie Girl, I said to Amy, so when we pulled up, her feet are covered in dirt, but both the insides of her feet are shiny. You may not know what I'm talking about. Now, when horses have knee boots on and they brush their knees, you can see where they kind of wore a little bit on their feet. It's not a big deal, but you can see where they're doing it. She doesn't have knee boots on, but there was dirt missing off the inside of both her front feet. I'm telling you, I did not see her strike her knee. I think she's just narrow and kind of rubbed up past it. There was no swelling, there was no heat of anything like that. But she almost run coming off the car, and then when I tried to force her into the passing lane, she almost made a break again. I know that filly's touching herself.
You also
What?
never let her hobbles out.
Oh, we let her hobbles out, honey. Her hobbles are plenty long right now. She's not filling them up at all. I think the biggest problem with Millie is this. She's a maturing filly that is small. She's not a big filly. We're probably going to protect her as much as we can and let her grow up. But in 3 or 4 or 5 starts, if she's still this frail little filly, why is this guy slowing down? Maybe he knows something we don't. But if she's still this frail little filly in 3 or 4 or 5 starts, well, probably just going to call it a season and let her mature, because she is a nice filly and she wants to do her work well, and she's a sweet little filly to drive. But you'll notice I used one adjective to explain her in all 3 of those sentences. Little. She's not a big filly, but she could be a big filly if we give her the time to grow up and fill out. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with her this summer, but she's not going to pace at 51, not for a while if she does. Name of the game with Millie Girl will be protect. Protect the filly and ensure that she turns into a nice sophomore, and that's exactly what we are going to do with her. So a great day thus far. Thus far, it's been a good day. We've raced 4 horses. We have a first, 2/3, and a fifth, right? First, 2/3, and a fifth. We have Diosa della Danza coming up in 15 and 28 is 43 minutes. We have Diosa della Danza. Sorry. About an hour. We have Diosa della Danza coming up. And then after that, well, then all the fireworks start. We have Uncle Danny in the 2-year-old truck colt, Next Generation. We have Tomboy Strong leaving for Post 8, but still a contender in the 2-year-old filly trot division. And in the pace division, gonna need some help, but don't kid yourself and don't count out Highest Honor. Still a very, very good horse. So there is the first part of your day over. A great day at the Meadows thus far. Solidarity trained great. No blood. 1 mile and 55 and 4. You'll race next week at the Meadows. We had a win from Sweet Lake in her second lifetime start. She is a stake winner. We had a very good third with Waney. We had a very good third with Leland in an overnight maiden. And we had a pretty good fifth in a filly. Ultimately, also, too, the one thing about Millie Girl is she's missed 2 or 3 really hard workouts leading into the summer also. So a very good fifth with her also. A good day so far. Hopefully we can keep it going, not just here, but all over. We have horses racing everywhere. Good luck to everybody racing tonight, especially Save America. Save America and Rock Shining Star, and Save America, Rock Shining Star, and Tigers on the side. So, take care. I hope you also have had a wonderful start to your day. It's hot here, beautiful. It says 94 degrees as we're heading down the highway. Now just 41 minutes outside of Sayona. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Again, as I said, good luck to everybody tonight.